Investigates. Come on in. We have a lot to talk about this evening. How's everyone doing? 5/13/2024. We are continuously on the Mica Miller case. I got some new information, folks, and we are going to talk about the pastor's dark secrets. I will say, folks, that we spoke earlier, just a few hours ago, and we were talking about the pastor, John Paul Miller here, this guy right here. He's under federal investigation along with a attorney, according to reports, named Tom Winslow. They're under federal investigation, according to news reports, for financial crimes. But guess what, folks? Guess what? It has been announced this evening by the Robeson County Sheriff's Office that they are calling on the FBI to assist in the investigation of the death of Mica Miller. 2 investigations now, folks. FBI investigations. I will read that statement in a second. But first, I want to start with something right here. We've been covering this case extensively on JLR Investigates, and we actually shared some information here about the ex-wife of John Paul Miller. This was the ex-wife, Allison, who broke away and divorced divorced JP and got away, and then JP eventually married Mica. Well, you know, when I say on JLR Investigates, if I say anything wrong or not correct, please reach me and set the record straight. Well, the people on her end have reached out to JLR Investigates to set the record straight. I, in the course of talking about her, incorrectly said that she has a criminal past. That is not true. They informed me that she has never been in trouble with the law. The only thing she has is some speeding tickets. I verified that, and yes, indeed, they are 100% correct. So the ex-wife of Pastor John Paul Miller, she has no criminal record. She just has a couple speeding tickets. Unfortunately, there's 2 people in the Horry County database with the exact same name as her that has been in trouble with the law, but it's not her. So I told them I'd come on and set the record straight because she's a victim too. She's a victim too, and they thanked me for doing that, and they appreciate me talking about this case and bringing awareness to Mica and calling out this guy. Their people there is the ones that put out that video of Pastor John Paul Miller laying in the yard, all shaken up outside his truck. That was at the time where the ex-wife basically caught him cheating, and he was having a so-called nervous breakdown. Well, they are going to possibly put out more information, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, she is a victim too. There's lots of victims out there of Pastor John Paul Miller, and we always want to get the correct information out there. Just like I always say, anything that we say on JLR Investigates that's not correct, you are more than welcome to reach me to set the record straight, and we will set the record straight. Now, let's talk. Let's talk, folks, because guess what? According to ABC 15, they got a statement by the Robeson County Sheriff's Office. Pastor John Paul Miller is now under federal investigation. And I'm going to show you this because this is big. This is big. It looks like the investigation on what happened to Mica is not closed. It is just beginning. And this goes with another investigation that the feds are already doing, according to news reports, that Pastor John Paul Miller, an attorney named Winslow, is under federal investigation for financial crimes dealing with a trip to Africa with the church. But let's talk. Let's talk here. This is a new report that just came out. It says feds called to assist Mica Miller investigation. And this report says, by ABC 15, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office announced Monday, today, that it has requested assistance from the United States Attorney's Office and the Federal Bureau of Investigation in South Carolina in the Mica Miller investigation. In a statement released Monday, the Sheriff's Office said that they have been in contact with both agencies since the early stages of the investigation. The statement reads, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office has been in contact with the United States Attorney's Office and the Federal Bureau of Investigation in South Carolina since the early stages of the Mica Miller investigation. Based on the information gathered during the investigation and jurisdiction reasons, the Sheriff's Office has requested the assistance
of both agencies. No other information will be released at this time. Anyone with information pertaining to the Miller investigation in South Carolina is asked to contact the Columbia, South Carolina FBI office. Now, this is huge. This is huge because they're calling on the FBI in South Carolina to assist with the investigation on what happened to Mica Miller on that day, April 27th, 2024, when she died, where authorities say it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A lot of people don't think that, or they at least think something is up, or something led up to her doing this. And all it points back to is this guy and the Solid Rock Church. So now we got two investigations, folks, because remember earlier today I read another report here, and this is by Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and they said FBI investigating J.P. Miller, his attorney, and Dare to Care African Mission. And in this report, it says sources confirm that Tom Winslow of the Winslow Law Firm and J.P. Miller are persons of interest by the FBI over issues surrounding monies collected for Miller's African Mission Dare to Care. It is unclear how long the investigation has been going, but Myrtle Beach, South Carolina News has been sent information that confirms Mica Miller knew of the investigation prior to her death. Mica Miller kept a daily journal. So if these reports are true, and I don't know if they're true or not, but I'm assuming they are, Pastor John Paul is in some big trouble. This is his attorney, by the way, this Winslow guy. And it's interesting. I just want to share something very, very interesting about this guy here, because we talked about him. He's an attorney for John Paul Miller, and I'm telling you, when the feds come at you, they have a 97% conviction rate, and if they come for you, they're coming for you, and they will indict a ham sandwich. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it seems like it might have. Our report or the news articles out there on Mr. Winslow has triggered him to put a new statement on his own winslowlawyers.com webpage. And this is what he put today. This is dated today, May 13th. And he has a whole article on his law firm now. He made this post today, and it says, social media and online defamation. And then he just starts describing what defamation is and all this kind of stuff. So he's obviously telling people, more or less, sending a message, don't defame him or you might get sued. Well, he's more than welcome on JLR Investigates, if we haven't said anything, to set the record straight. But it looks like he is under investigation. And some people said they're looking forward to the perp walks. The perp walks, John Paul Miller, and this lawyer, and whoever else. There could be others involved. But when the feds are saying that they're investigating a case, it's most likely the feds are going to indict somebody. Somebody somewhere with this. Just like WPDE, ABC 15. Mica Miller update. Feds called to assist Mica Miller investigation in South Carolina. So the feds are investigating. Now, the feds are going to be very tight-lipped. The feds are not obligated to tell the public anything. They're like stealths. They go through, everything. They'll issue subpoenas most likely. They might not even tell the victims' families what's going on out of the integrity of the investigation. But when the feds say they're going to, if they're going to investigate things, pretty much if they are, somebody's going to get indicted. That's just how it works, folks. It's very hard to beat any type of federal investigation unless somebody cooperates. And, maybe somebody does cooperate. But the question is Pastor John Paul Miller, where was he really on April 27th? And why is Robeson County investigating or getting the feds to investigate him? I thought they said it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, right? Or have they learned some new things? Have they uncovered some interesting things? I want to show you something right here. There has been a spotting today of Pastor John Paul Miller. He was spotted at a local Mavis Tires and Brakes at 1:14 p.m. today. He was spotted. I actually remember I was at reporting from the scene last week, and I actually did a report with their garage in the background. I had issues with my brakes, but what's going on with him to be at Mavis? What's going on with him having brake issues? What type of vehicle? Is there something going on that could be connected to Mica Miller, or is he just going for routine brakes? I say this because remember, folks, I put out a report earlier today about him switching trucks. He apparently, or at least got rid of some evidence on his truck, or got rid of things on his truck. Remember, I did the live this morning and I showed 2 pictures. A neighbor sent me a picture. A neighbor sent me this picture right here and said, oh, Pastor John Paul Miller's driving it as of this weekend. He got a new truck. And they're insisting, the neighbor's insisting it's a new truck. We discussed, and some people say, well, it could be a new truck, or it could be he got rid of things. But in the truck, as you see here, this is his truck where, you know, when Mica died, this is the truck he's been driving around with. And you can see in the truck, there's a back silver guardrail there, or silver rail, and the new truck doesn't have one. This truck here, the old one, has a bunch of silver rims. This truck doesn't have one. This truck here had the stickers in the back. The new truck doesn't. And the license plates are the same. So what's going on here? What's going on here where he's seen at Mavis and now he, got rid of a truck over the weekend? Does he think the heat is on him? Why would you suddenly get either get a new truck, get a replacement truck that's similar, or change things off your truck during the course of the whole world watching? Doesn't make sense. Tell me, can anyone explain that to me? Because it seems like he might be starting to hide evidence, or, try to escape maybe, or try not to be seen, or he doesn't want anyone to know what he's doing. He is under a cloud of suspicion. So much, like the other day we saw in the Daily Mail photographs. He's at his lawyers. His lawyers gives out a statement. Remember, Robeson County sheriffs were calling him to come up there to give him information about Mica. Mica's family went up there, but he didn't go up there through his lawyer. He declined to go up there. Why wouldn't he even go up there? Why did he get Mica's body so quickly and cremate her body? Why was it on, why did he on the 30th? Why on the 30th did he go to Mica's house to try to retrieve her items from her apartment on Margarita when, they're separated? She wanted nothing to do with them. How did he end up with a necklace? How did he end up with a necklace? That seems like the same necklace Mica was wearing at that pawn shop, Dick's Pawn Store. A lot of unanswered questions. Where was his real whereabouts? And what do you think is going to happen? Now, let me just say, because somebody said this here, the person that posted him, and this wasn't me that took a picture of him in the Mavis. Somebody said, today, where did you get this? Where did this pic come from? Oh my God, just now. I was waiting for my oil change and watching a TikTok about him, and he turned around when he heard his name. He started shaking. That's what the person said. He started shaking. Uh-oh, they're watching me. Uh-oh, they're watching me. Which is very interesting, right? He knows everyone. That's a small town. Everyone knows everybody. Dude, when I was at the boardwalk there was people all over there that were saying, hey, watch your videos. And even one of his neighbors came up to me and gave me her number, at the boardwalk. Everyone's all around town. Everyone knows everyone around there. So this guy here, everyone's probably seeing what's going on. Everybody probably knows where he's at all times. She followed up with this last text here, which is interesting here. This is text shared in a group. We have a Mica Miller group, by the way. I think he's going to crack like that pavement. The glare he gave me was terrifying. So the person follows up that the glare that this individual, John Paul Miller, gave her was terrifying. Like scary, like probably one of those stare down cult leaders, stare down Jim Jones, like, you know what I mean? But this is finally probably the first time in John Paul Miller's life that he's, he feels pressure on him, and people know, and he's probably faced never faced pressure like this in his lifetime. He was so used to controlling everyone. Now he's spiraling out of control. He can't even control and manage his own life. He's in serious damage control here. And his life is about to get significantly worse. Not only criminally with two FBI investigations on him, but we're talking about the family of Mica, possibly wrongful death suit, the church being sued, possibly SLED. We're thinking SLED. This could be Alec Murdaugh 2.0 in South Carolina, by the way, folks. This is how big this could be. Because not only would they get him with the underlying crime of maybe something to do with Mica's death, but they're going to go after him for financial crimes. They're going to go into his finances. They're going to go into the church finances. They might even start indicting people that are affiliated with him in the church. That's why I said, folks, that these people are flocking the church in droves. They're flocking the church in droves. We just heard from Pastor Randall, right, at the last sermon that they just had yesterday, right? And it's being reported that only 30 people came to that church, that Solid Rock church yesterday, 30. Now, case in point why people are flocking. One, I saw them flocking the day of the protest. People were leaving that church and coming over and joining the Justice for Mica protesters or not showing. There wasn't a lot of people at that church that day. I would say maybe 50 at the most. I said there was more protesters outside or more supporters of Mica than there was inside the church that day. But the reason why I say they're flocking in droves is because there's an article out, and I just want to show you this article that I found, and this is about the new church. Their congregation was so big that they were expanding. They were going to expand, and they expanded that location. Remember, we went to the location across the street from the highway where Pastor John Paul Miller lives, this big area here. It was all cleared out. Well, there's an article, and this was dated December 31st, 2023. And in this article, it says, Pastor John Paul Miller said the church is in need of bigger space than its current lot at the old Air Force Base at the Market Commons. The church has grown by hundreds of people and now has 700 members. 700 members. So in December of 2023, they're claiming they had 700 members. Yesterday at church, 30 showed. 30 showed. Where's everybody at? Either they're too scared. They might be still members, but they're not coming. You got 700 members, and you were about to expand to a 15-acre lot on the side of the highway and expand your church, make it bigger because it was growing. And then this whole incident here just pumped the brakes on that expansion like, no more. And everyone's waking up and saying, oh my God, I've been Jim Jones. I've been brainwashed by the cult leader here. No more. No. And they're starting to leave. And that's good. That's what people want. I don't think he redeems himself here. I don't think any type of begging for forgiveness in front of the church is going to win him sympathy at this point. He's already done this in 2015 when he was accused of doing very pervasive things on minors, according to his ex-wife, who accused him in divorce papers. And we're going to read that because the Daily Mail has a new article out about his divorce proceedings with his ex. And the ex has made some serious allegations against him. A lot. And at the time, he was begging the church for forgiveness and whatnot. A lot of people left. And then over time, he was able to redeem himself to get to where they were at just earlier this year with a big giant church ready to move. And then this terrible tragedy happened. The terrible tragedy happened. You know, somebody from the church told me. Somebody from the church, people from the church are emailing me. Please email me, tips@JLR Investigate. I want to hear it. I want the goods. I want the tea. Spill the tea to me. I can keep you anonymous. Like I'm going to keep this person anonymous. I got something that said that there was someone that actually, before Mica's death, they actually took her out to lunch and took her out. And Pastor John Paul Miller got so furious that he kicked them out of the church. Kicked them out of the church. I'm not going to say the person's name, but kicked them out of the church just because Pastor John Paul Miller, up to when she died, didn't want anybody from that church hanging out with her or doing anything with her. And you'd be ostracized. You'd be outcast. See, we're getting the information, folks, and the information, keep it coming because it's important to get this information out. It paints a picture. And I've learned and uncovered so much, it just has my jaw dropped here. Like, how has this guy not been in jail yet? How come he hasn't been charged with nothing? She had clear evidence by the in Myrtle Beach, that this dude was stalking her. Putting electronic devices on someone's car that wants nothing to do with them is a crime. It's a crime. Stealing her car when she's in the divorce proceedings and separation, to me, is a crime. Going in her phone and impersonating her and contacting her own family as her is a crime. That's a crime. When she's trying to file a PFA against him and he goes to the courthouse to stalk her while she's filing a PFA, that's a crime. It's a crime. Why hasn't he been charged at all? I don't know. You tell me. See the new report, folks, by the Daily Mail. We're going to talk a little bit about the pastor's dark secrets. That's what I titled this video. Dark secrets, ladies and gentlemen. And this is coming out by the Daily Mail. And the Daily Mail has been on this case, man. Daily Mail has been getting the scoops. They've been getting court documents. And we're doing the same thing, too. Oh, by the way, I tried. I'm sorry, folks. I'll actually show you. But well, actually, I can't because it has email personal information. But I reached out to the Horry County Police to get that body cam footage of Pastor John Paul getting that running the red light ticket just a few months ago. But they're telling me for some reason under South Carolina law it's exempt. So if you're a good journalist out there, media, maybe they'll give it to you, but they didn't give it to me. I tried to get the body cams. I would have loved to see him on body cam. We need to see Pastor John Paul on body cam, right? He has lots of pullovers. Has over 30 speeding tickets and vehicle infraction tickets in the Horry County database going back for the last 15 years. I'm sure someone out of that can get some body cam or release it. If you're a law officer and you want to make a difference and have justice for Mica, release it. I don't know why they didn't release it to me, but it seems like sometimes they do release body cam. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't release it to me, but I'll maybe appeal. I want to see the body cam. I want to see the body cam of him. I want to see how he manipulates and talks to police or talks in general. Mica Miller's pastor husband sent her twisted email saying he wants to attack and cause pain instead of forgiving her, as divorce documents reveal he was accused of rampant adultery. Affidavits reveal that Pastor John Paul Miller had emailed his wife. Mica's family also claims she told them her husband was capable of doing really serious harm to her. Documents obtained by Daily Mail show that Mica filed for divorce. And here we go, folks. Mica Miller's pastor husband penned a poisonous email to his estranged wife before her death saying that he wanted to attack and cause pain, as Daily Mail can reveal that she filed for divorce after discovering he was having multiple affairs. John Paul Miller, 44, has been accused by Mica of grooming her from the age of 14 when she first joined the church. In affidavits filed by Mica's family, they expressed their concern over her relationship with Miller, who had been described as a wolf in sheep's clothing and a false prophet by those who know him. Some people, and here's a picture of them, by the way, at the altar. This is a picture of them at the altar. A lot of people say to me, JLR Investigates, stop calling him a pastor. He's not a pastor. Some say he's a pervert. Stop calling him a pastor. I'm just going to keep calling him a pastor because that's his title, but I get what you're saying. But, he doesn't represent pastors. And I know a lot of pastors and priests, and they're wonderful, excellent people and godly and live the godly life. It doesn't seem like this pastor, John Paul Miller, followed those footsteps. Matter of fact, what type of pastor goes to his ex-wife and says, if you don't talk to me, whatever, I'm going to release the photos on Facebook. You'll see the photos of you later on Facebook. Who does that? It's really scary. When someone hurts me, I try to hurt them back rather than forgive. That's his excuse on everything. When someone hurts them, or when someone hurts him, he tries to hurt them back rather than forgive. That's his sin. That's his excuse for what he does. That's what he always says. Instead of me forgiving you, I just attack and try to cause pain. That's what he says. Now, what type of behaviors is that? That, to me, sounds like a narcissist. It's narcissistic behavior, right? Entitled. Demonic. So this is him coming out of his law firm, and I think... Now, I don't know about this law firm here, where he was coming out the other day, but I think we're going to be seeing him coming out of some criminal law firms very, very soon, not just civil. And they also put out a statement that said, YouTubers and all types of people, stop talking about my client. You know the rules of defamation and everything. We should be the last thing on his mind. Basically, he's going to have to drop $500K on all this. From civil to criminal attorneys, if he has quasi-investigations, SLED investigation, possibly local investigations, yeah, his fortune is gone. And the last thing on his mind, and we're only reporting reports that are out there on him, the last thing should be on his mind is YouTubers and TikTokers. He should be on his knees begging for forgiveness and praying that he doesn't get indicted and pray that he doesn't get sued. He really should. He really should. He has a world of problems coming. But his dark secrets are coming to light. His dark secrets are coming to life. Divorce documents obtained by Daily Mail reveal that Mica filed for divorce in October last year on the grounds of adultery. Plaintiff Mica is informed and believes that the defendant John Paul has and is currently engaging in acts of adultery with women whose names are well known to the defendant. Plaintiff has not condoned the adultery. The plaintiff would show that she left the marital home due to defendant's philandering, as well as defendant's growing hostility towards the plaintiff. Defendant has threatened to throw plaintiff's belongings into the yard, lock plaintiff out of her own home, and has defamed and demeaned the plaintiff before a congregation of people. That's what she's accusing him of doing. Threatening him, throwing her belongings into the yard, locked her out of the home. Mica's filing says she was a faithful wife who was devoted to their church and marriage during their 7 years together. Miller later filed against Mica, asking that he be given exclusive use of the family home and a car, as well as demanding that she be banned from making social media posts about him or the church. It seems like this guy doesn't like it when people talk about him. Matter of fact, when she, a couple months before her death, he actually filed a police report against her. Oh, because she was online talking about the years of what she was going through and just sharing her story, and he considered that harassment. Oh, she didn't even name drop him. I don't think so. Oh, she's harassing me, whatever. No, she has the courage to speak out, and she has the right to speak. It's called the First Amendment. And she has the right to share what she feels she went through under the spell of this guy. And he didn't like it. He didn't like it. Oh, because guess what? Because he felt most likely that him and his church and the truth about him would have been put out there on blast. So he, in these divorce proceedings or whatever like that, he's asking the judge, oh, please forbid her from speaking about me. That's how this guy is. That's how this guy is. But we're on to him on JLR Investigates. We're on to him. We're on to him. Again, last thing he should be worried about is YouTubers and TikTokers and people on social media. He has to deal with Mica's family. He has to deal with Mica's family, maybe Allison's family, and maybe other people, other victims, financial people that were promised or manipulated or bamboozled or gave money to his church or congregation or, were lied to under false pretenses. Maybe he has to answer to the IRS. We haven't even talked about the IRS. When he's receiving all this money, is he reporting it to the IRS? He's facing a whirlwind of problems. Magnolia put something in the chat here and said, remind people of this, and I'm going to see what that is. Prior to her admission to Waccamaw, Mica was gathering and sorting the evidence she had to bring to an attorney for filing for divorce to support her claims against Mr. Miller as to his abuse character, his parameters, his associates he paid off or blackmailed. While at the facility, those documents, emails, files were removed from her phone, personal laptop, vehicle, and purse and never recovered. This is coming from the sister of Mica. So she had evidence on him. But remember, folks, who more or less got her involuntarily committed at the beginning of February, I think for 2 days from the 8th to the 10th. And while that time where he stole her car, he apparently got into her phone and started deleting the evidence, getting rid of the files, getting rid of anything to protect his interest. It's very, very bad, folks. Very, very bad. But people are speaking out. And in this day and era, you can't get away with it anymore. Too many witnesses. And in this particular case, it looks like Mica has an army of supporters. And it seems like she's the one that's blessed. And it seems like she has God on her side. And good always prevails over evil. Good always prevails over evil. Let's read on about the Daily Mail, because they continue to have some dark secrets about Pastor John Paul Miller. His first marriage broke down after it was revealed that he was having an affair with Mica, who was regularly babysitting his 4 children in 2015. Daily Mail can also reveal that he has a lengthy history with police, including a conviction for assault and battery and at least a dozen traffic violations. His most recent discrepancies include charges of disregarding a stop sign in April and failing to obey traffic control devices in February. We talked about those 2 cases. He's actually trying to challenge it and take it to a jury trial. Miller was convicted in 1999 of driving a silver pickup truck into Jennifer Garland twice as she was sandbagging near her home because of extreme flooding. Have you seen that, folks? Who in the world is Jennifer Garland? And he was convicted in 1999 of driving his silver pickup truck into her? What in the world was that about? And that's interesting, folks, because remember, didn't we play a clip yesterday of how he bragged, how he wished he could have drove girls and ran girls over because they didn't like his General Lee Dukes of Hazzard car? Remember that? Remember we played that clip? If you haven't, go back to my videos from yesterday, the day before. I played a clip. And in this clip, pastor was like, people getting into church, getting on me for driving fancy cars, and they didn't like my General Lee, so I got rid of it. But then they ended up leaving the church anyway. I should have ran them over. And all these people laughing like they think that's funny. And he says this in the church, and then, whoa, 1999, what does he do? He runs over Jennifer Garland and gets convicted of it. So he obviously has issues of running females over. That's his cup of tea. That's where he feels like, oh yeah, I like to run over people. Hoo hoo ha ha, it's funny. No, it's not funny. It's sick. And by the way, that 1999 conviction, he filed with the South Carolina Probation and Parole Pardon Department. He got a pardon. They gave him a pardon, like October 2022. They also gave him a pardon for his driving while having a license suspension. He filed for 2 pardons. He filed for 1 pardon in Florence County. If you look in the Florence County, South Carolina, in the court record search, he filed for a pardon there, and he filed for a pardon at that 99 conviction for assault. And they gave it to him. And then when he got it, he got a gun. So he's running around with guns. So be careful out there. Be careful out there, everyone. The guy could be armed and dangerous. Let's read on. The then 19-year-old accelerated into Garland after she gestured to him to slow down, dragging her 100 yards down the road. Garland attempted to file a civil suit against Miller, claiming she suffered severe pain and permanent injuries, but it was dismissed. He was given a suspended 4 years prison sentence, probation, and a $25 fine in order to complete 500 hours of community service. So that was his punishment. He didn't go to jail. But remember this. This guy ran over Jennifer Garland. Remember that. We're taking notes. Dark secrets of Pastor Miller. Miller was also convicted in 1998 of driving while suspended, with his parents also settling a lawsuit on his behalf for $6,200 in 1995 at age 19 when he drove his car into the back of another vehicle, again causing injury. What in the world is this guy? Oh, by the way, This, again, the guy has like 37 cases in the Horry County. I counted 37. Put his name in. John Paul. Remember, put Paul because there's a lot of John Millers out there. John Paul Miller. Put John Paul Miller in the Horry County database, and you're going to get 37 cases on him. And like 30 of them are about speeding infractions and driving infractions. And it seems like he has an issue with driving. He gets 2 tickets in the last 3 months, and he hits this Jennifer Garland. He hits another vehicle. He drives with suspended. This guy is driving. He's out of control. He's a danger to society when it comes to driving. He shouldn't be behind the wheel. At all. At all. He applied for a pardon in 2022 with regard to the convictions of assault and battery and driving while suspended, which was approved by South Carolina legislatures. The legislature approved it. The pastor has also been embroiled in a bitter custody battle with the mother of his first child, Logan Hardy, with family members and churchgoers writing letters to the court to support his argument in 1998. His father, Wayne Miller, told the court in letters that his son's only problem was with his driving. That's interesting. Yeah, he has a driving issue, but now he has a bigger problem. He has a bigger problem. It's not just driving anymore, folks. He has some big problems. Big problems coming away. And ironically, his dad wants to speak up for his behalf, but his dad is the one that did all this egregious acts on children and everything. His own dad exposed himself to an undercover officer in Myrtle Beach at the park in 05. And his dad got federally indicted for more or less fraud. And then ended up serving like time served, and he got like 3 years probation. We read the dad's court case yesterday. Like father, like son. It's just weird. It's just like everything is coming out. And we will continue to bring everything out on JLR Investigates. We are on this case. And we are on this guy. And we have a right to talk about him. And we have a right to report on his past misdeeds. What else don't we know? And that's what we're doing. We're trying to uncover more on this case. We're trying to get an idea on who the real pastor John Paul Miller is, what's going to happen with his church, what's going to happen with the Mica Miller case. This particular segment was called The Pastor's Dark Secrets. I am JLR. I'm at the JLR Batcave. We are covering this case 24/7, 365. When new information comes out about this case, I will share with all of you. We are Mica's Army. Justice for Mica. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss what we come out with next. And keep the info coming, man. If you know these people firsthand, again, you can speak anonymously. We respect anonymity. You can put yourself on the record if you want to talk. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's spill the tea together. I drink coffee. I'm not necessarily a tea drinker. Love the coffee. Love to learn more about what's going on here, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be safe. Until next time. Love your loved ones. Protect your loved ones. And stay vigilant, my friends. Have a good day. Bye-bye. JLR Investigates.